YouTube channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you. If you are just joining me for the first time, I encourage you to subscribe and also press that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload new video. So what are we talking about today? Well, before I get started, let me say congratulations. I want to say a very big congratulations to the President-elect of the United States, Joseph Robinette Biden, and also to the Vice President-elect, Kamala Harris. This is great, and I pray that God will give you the wisdom. Can you imagine? We have a woman vice president. She's the first black woman vice president. And recently, with all the things that have been going on in the world, women have been in the forefront, and it's just exciting for me to see. I remember as a young girl, I had even questioned myself that, oh my God, I wish I was a boy, because it does seem like it's a man's world, but now that I'm all grown, I'm excited to be a woman, and I'm just excited to see all these women doing great and amazing things. So to today's topic, I don't really have a topic. Let me say that I just want to share some lessons that I've learned during this election cycle. I've learned some lessons because I followed the politics from day one up until the election day and up until after the election. And if you've been following the politics, I know some of you, or you might not like politics. I wouldn't say I like politics, but I love good governance, and I feel like I should be able to actively participate in whatever is going to affect me. It's going to affect my children, it's affecting my generation, and it will affect generations to come. So I like to follow all the politics. I like to know the details. I like to know the nitty gritty. I don't like to base my decision on hearsay, so I like to do my own research to know what each person is proposing. The person that is saying that they want to govern me, I need to know what value they are bringing to the table. So I started researching, and I learned more about Joe Biden. I've known about Joe Biden since 2007, because he was one of the first people that actually contested when Barack Obama contested to be president the first time. So he was one of them. Eventually Barack Obama won, and then Barack Obama chose him as his vice president. I admired him throughout those 8 years because he was graceful in that position. He wasn't trying to take the spotlight. He wasn't saying to Barack Obama that I'm older than you, I have more experience than you. He was a good teammate, and it was really special to me to know that we can have good people by our side cheering us on and just staying in their own lane, everyone shining differently. It was really good to watch. So when Barack Obama left the presidency in 2016, Joe Biden didn't contest at that time, and I got to find out that it was because his son was dying. He was mourning at that time, so he wasn't really in the right frame of mind. And I believe that he published a book, which I did buy. The title of the book is Promise Me Dad, and the book details the story of Joe Biden and all the hardships that he had gone through over the years. He lost his first wife and a child in an accident back in the 70s, I believe. And then from that, he remarried. He was left with 2 boys. He got married to Jill Biden, and I believe that they have a girl together. And he has been in public service for the past 47 years. So that means that his entire life has been about public service. And just seeing him going from being one of the youngest to get into the United States Senate to being the oldest president-elect, that journey of 47 years, it's amazing to watch. And I think that there are quite a number of lessons that we can all learn from his life. I'm going to keep it short and simple, so I'm not boring you, but I believe that the lessons from his life can be applied to any strata of our lives. If you are a career person, you can learn something from him. If you are a business person, you can learn something from him. If you are not any type of person, you can learn something from him. So let me backtrack to when this election cycle started. One of the things that the Democratic Party was looking for was a candidate that could beat or win over the current president we have, right? And in the media, amongst political analysts, people were saying that Joe Biden is that one person that can beat Donald Trump. They were mentioning his name. I was watching. Some other candidates came out. I think Joe Biden was the last candidate that stepped out to say that he's looking for nomination. He wants to represent his party to go head to head with Donald Trump, which is our current president. Joe Biden got in the race, and all that talk about Joe Biden was the one that could beat the president, it just came out flat because his campaign or his team, they were not able to strike a chord with the people, or so it seemed. So other people appeared to be doing better. Other aspirants appeared to be doing better, right? And Joe Biden remained calm. So the first one was held in Iowa. Iowa is one of the United States, right? They went to Iowa and they had their primary, is it election? I don't even know the name. Yeah, election. Not election. They did like a voting process in Iowa. And Joe Biden, I believe, he didn't come out of that. It wasn't the top three. And at that point, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? They went from Iowa to New Hampshire. It still didn't come out on top. But after that, it began to gain momentum for whatever reason. And then eventually he was able to clinch that nomination. When he clinched the nomination, then he began to face Donald Trump. He began to face the current president. And what I was looking out for was the strategy that each candidate adopted. So we had the candidates for the Democratic Party, which was Joe Biden, and the candidates for the Republican Party, which was Donald Trump. So it was interesting to watch. I was studying them, looking at the strategies that they were using at that time. And one thing that stood out for the Democratic Party was the fact that we have a pandemic that is going on, and there were talks about social distancing. So they were saying that to campaign in this year would be different from the other strategies that have been used in the past. And then on the other side was POTUS. POTUS is basically president of the United States, which is Donald Trump. POTUS said that he would go out and campaign and do his campaign in front of people. Most times he would go there. Most of the people will not be wearing masks, and there was really no social distancing. Social distancing in many of the instances. So in the media, if you watch the media, it appeared that Joe Biden was not gaining momentum because he was basically mostly reaching out to the people through videos, and it did seem like Joe Biden was not going to make it. And he was called several names. People were abusing him, but each time they abused him, he never responded the same way. He always showed leadership. He always showed gracefulness. And I think that comes with experience. And the reason I'm sharing this is sometimes you might find yourself in a situation whereby you're choosing to do what you know is the right thing, and then people are abusing you for that thing. What do you do in those moments? Do you renege on your decisions? Do you try to join the bandwagon and just say, you know what, I give up on my own values, I give up on my own morals, let me follow what the world is doing? Because it seems like the way the other people are doing it is yielding results. Should I leave my own resolve? Should I leave my own values to go to that other side? It was interesting to watch. And then that passed. So basically, Joe Biden said that he didn't want to endanger people, so he wasn't organizing big rallies. big campaign event. So he was recording in his basement or in his house. I don't know if it was his basement, but there were talks in the media that he was recording from his basement. I don't know. He was recording and pushing out the videos. They had volunteers that were helping them to reach out to people and all that. Fast forward to the debate. The first debate it appeared very contentious. I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't really pick anything out of those debates. But the second one was okay. No, the second one was cancelled. The third one was okay. And then we found ourselves, boom, the election. So on election day, especially at night, when the numbers started trickling in, this is the interesting part. It appeared that POTUS was winning. And guess what POTUS did? He went on a live broadcast and basically said, we are winning. He actually tweeted, we're going to win this. We're going to win this. And Joe Biden was patient. In fact, when I woke up the following morning and I turned on the TV, when I looked at the numbers, I'm like, OMG. I'm not sure he can make it, but the journalist kept saying, we have to hold on. We can't call this yet. And then guess what started happening? The numbers started trickling in, especially because the Democratic Party had told their own people, the people that they knew would vote for them, to request for mail-in ballots. And these mail-in ballots were requested for and were sent back to a designated place for each state. Each state is different. The rule in each state is different. But it was interesting to watch because on election day, the numbers were higher for POTUS because most of the people that voted for him voted on election day. Most of the people that voted for Joe Biden voted before election day, or they postmarked their mail-in ballots. So the numbers started trickling in, and it appeared that Joe Biden was going to overtake POTUS. And it struck me that when you are in a race, you don't declare, you don't say that you've won before the end of that journey. You don't say that, because at the end of the day, it's going to turn back at you, or it might backfire. And guess what? It actually made me remember a time that I applied to a job. I got the job. I was called that I got the job. They sent me a letter and said that, they said this is a tentative letter of employment. I was so delighted that I forgot the meaning of tentative. Tentative means that until further notice, it's not a confirmation letter that I've been confirmed that I got the job. But when they sent me a letter, a tentative letter of employment, they told me my salary. They told me that I needed to come to their office to get my picture ID. I was ecstatic. I told a few friends, and they were already saying congratulations. I went to work. I told my boss that I got a job. I was delighted. In fact, they had a send forth party. They organized a send forth party for me at work. Immediately we finished the party, I think it was about 2 weeks after, I got a call from this supposed new place of employment, and they said that they couldn't take me anymore. I had already declared victory before I actually crossed the finish line, and I learned so much from that experience because it was not a palatable place to be. Can you imagine? You told everybody that you got a new job. People are already even envying you that you got a new job, and eventually it turned out that I didn't get the job. Well, I was basically removed from the job. The reason why that happened, I'll tell you some other time. But yes, that's what happened. I was supposed to get a job, and eventually I didn't get the job, and my letter did not say that letter of confirmation. My letter only said that tentative letter of employment. So ever since then, I've been very cautious about sharing my wins, especially when I know that I've not crossed that finish line. it was a big lesson for me, and it wasn't palatable. I cried. I basically cried for 3 days when that happened to me. So we really need to be careful that we cross that finish line before we're declaring victory. The other thing I've also learned from Joe Biden is patience, which is related to what I just said. Patience, it's really key in life, because when we are patient, then we have that right to celebrate. When we are patient, we have more clarity. When we are patient, we have more experience, because during that waiting time, it's very hard to wait. I can tell you that for free. And I know that you know that as well. It's so hard to wait. But waiting and being patient is very key to success in life. And one thing that patience does for you that a lot of people might not necessarily realize is the fact that it helps you to prepare. So when you are waiting for something, for example, it's not the time for lamentation. I think that's one of the things I tell people. The period of waiting is not the time for lamentation. It's actually the time of preparation. So one thing I learned from the Joe Biden team was that even though they were waiting for the election results, they already built a transition website. They were strategizing on what next to do once the projection is made that is going to be the president-elect. They didn't wait. They didn't just wait for the results. They hit the ground running. They were doing specific things that would help them to move faster once the announcement has been made. And trust me, once that announcement was made, I kept following them. The moves they are making, like some serious moves, and I'm really inspired. When you want to be successful in life, you have to study people that have a track record. You have to study people consistently over time to know what they are made of. Joe Biden is not someone that I look up to daily, right? But is someone that I've learned one or two things from his life, and that's why I'm sharing this today. I hope that you can pick one or two things as well. I wish him well in this new journey, and especially for the first black, let me say that again, first black woman vice president elect. That's a good title, and I'm really proud to be a woman, and I hope that you've picked one or two things from what I've shared today. If you have any questions, leave me your questions in the comment box. If you have any comments, leave me your comments as well. I'll be